Hey everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this bag here. You're going to need some type of handle. This came off an old bag that I had laying around. Or you can make your own handles, and you can do that however you want. You could add 2 short ones, 1 long one, 2 long ones, whatever you want to do. And then this button, if you decide to put it on, it's optional. It's about 1.5 inches, and I made a couple pom-poms for it. But it's made with a crocodile stitch, so let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, for this project, I'm just using regular Red Heart Super Saver, which is a 100% medium worsted weight 4-ply acrylic. But you can use any type of 4-ply yarn that you have. And the color, this one is called Jade. And then I have a variegated I'm going to use. I believe the color of this was called Reef. And I'm going to be using a size H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. The crocodile stitch is done in a multiple, well, the way I'm doing it, is done in a multiple of 7 in case you want to use it for something else or you want to make your bag bigger or smaller. But I'm going to start off with the chain, start off the slip knot, and I'm going to start off with the chain of 84. Once you get your chain of 84 done, what you want to do is just, without twisting your chain, follow it all the way down, and we're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch that we made, and it's going to form one large ring. So all the way down here to the first one, and slip stitch, like that. Now what we're doing, this is going to be the bottom of the bag. We're going to be working from the bottom up, and then at the end we'll sew it together. Okay, so we're going to start by chaining 1, and now we're going to work right back into that same stitch that we slip stitched into, and we're going to do a double crochet. So I'm going to go through like that, same stitch, and then I'm going to double crochet. And now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every single stitch all the way around the big ring until I get back to the beginning. What I'm doing is creating a row to attach the crocodile stitch to. They have to be attached to a row double crochet. So I'm going to go all the way around with 1 double crochet in every stitch, and when I get back around I still should have 84 double crochets. Okay, once you made it all the way around and you counted and you have 84 double crochet, what you want to do is slip stitch in your very first one. Not that chain one that we did, but the very first double crochet that we made. Just like that. And now we're going to start working our crocodile stitches. And each crocodile stitch is going to take 2 of these posts to make it. So I'm going to start by chaining 1, and I'm going to work down this very first post right here. And it looks a little thicker than the other ones because it has that chain 1 on it, but that's what it's supposed to look like. So what I do is I pull the post up so I can see it like that, and I fold my work in half. And now I'm going to put 5 double crochets down the post, or around the post. So I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to go right through the post, just like that, and I'm going to do a double crochet. So that's 1. I'm going to do it 5 times around the same post. 2. Again, go through the post, grab your yarn from the other side, double crochet. That's 3, 4, and 5. And now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm just going to turn my work like this, still folded in half. I'm going to grab the next post that's right next to it, so this one right here. I'm just going to grab it with my fingers and pull it up, fold this little flap down, and now I'm going to do 5 double crochets up this post. So I'm going to yarn over and go through the next post and double crochet, and I'm going to do it 5 times just like we did before. but this time we're just working from the bottom and going up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that you can undo it, and that's our first crocodile stitch. And I want to chain 1 in between every crocodile stitch. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip 2 stitches, skip, and I'm going to slip stitch in the third one. And that kind of locks that crocodile stitch down. And now I'm going to skip 2 more. Here's the one we slip stitched into, so we're going to skip the next 2. Skip, skip. And these 2 right here, we're going to start our next crocodile stitch in. So we skipped 2, and then we slip stitched into this one. Skip 2 more, and then we'll start in the next one our crocodile stitch. So kind of pull it up, hold it down, your work down, and then I'm just going to yarn over and go right into right around the post and double crochet 5 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I'm going to chain 1 and kind of just flip my work around, and then I look for the next post, which is right there, and I pull it up so I can see it, fold all my work in half, and now I'm going to do 5 double crochets up this post. So I'm going to yarn over and go right through the post and do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is my second crocodile stitch. And again, I'm going to chain 1 in between them. So I'm going to repeat. I'm just going to keep repeating what I've been doing. So I'm going to skip 2, skip, skip, slip stitch into the next, skip 2 again. This is the one I slip stitched into, so I'm going to skip, skip, and start in this one, working my next crocodile stitch. So I'm going to fold my work in half, pull my post up so I can see it really good, and I'm going to yarn over and start putting my 5 double crochets down this post. There's 1. You could slide them up the post as you go too if they start to get too low. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going to chain 1, and I just kind of turn my work around, open it up, and I find my next post, which was right here. So I just grab it, fold my work in half, and now I'm going to do 5 double crochets up this post. So I just yarn over, go right around the post. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. And that is another crocodile stitch formed. So we got 3 of them so far. And again, I'm going to chain 1 in between them. Going to skip 2, slip stitch into the next, skip 2, and start my next crocodile stitch into the next. So I'm going to pull it up and yarn over and do my 5 double crochets around the post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to chain 1, and I just turn my work around, and and then I grab the next post that's next to this one right here, and I just pull it way up so I can see it and go through it. And I work my 5 double crochets up this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is another stitch completed. And now we're just going to keep repeating that. We're going to chain 1 in between, pull this over so you can see, skip 2, slip stitch into the next, skip 2 again, skip, skip, and start my crocodile stitch right here into the next one. So I'm just going to keep repeating this all the way around until I get back to the beginning. And when I get back to the beginning, I should have a total of 12 of these crocodile stitches. Okay, I've made it all the way around, and I just did my last crocodile stitch here. And then I'm going to chain 1. And then if you look, you'll have 5 stitches left. What you want to do is skip 2, slip stitch into the next, and then you'll skip the last 2, and we're going to slip stitch right here into the top of this crocodile stitch. Kind of, I'll show you kind of, if you flip it and you see this post that we went around, follow it up and kind of slip stitch right into the top of it. It doesn't have to be exact, but, and I'm going to switch yarns here. So what I'm going to do is slip stitch my new color through. So I didn't pull that color through. I'm going to pull my new color through. So I went into the stitch, and I'm going to pull this color through and then slip stitch. And I like to flip it over and put I'm not going to clip this other yarn either. I'm just going to keep it going. But I'm going to put a tiny knot in it. I know you're not supposed to, but I don't like it slipping away from me when I'm using it. So I'm just going to put a tiny knot in the back here so it doesn't come undone. Like that. And I'm going to leave my first color still attached to the skein. And now I'm going to start by chaining 1. And I'm just going to do 1 double crochet in every stitch around. So I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and double crochet like that. And now I'm going to put a double crochet in every double crochet from the previous row. So if you look, we got 1 here. Now we're going to go to where the next double crochet is. It's, if you flip your work over, it's the one that the other side of the crocodile stitch is attached to. So right here, you want to go into that one, and then the 2 that you skipped before, so pull your crocodile stitch down and you can see them. 1 double crochet in each of them, and then the one that you slip stitched into, kind of go 1 double crochet in the top of that one, like that. And then the 2 that you skipped again, if you pull your crocodile stitch down, you'll be able to see them. Kind of look from behind too to make sure you're getting it. The 2 that you skipped again, and then the 2 that you did the crocodile stitches in right here. So right here, and then right there, just like that. And then again, the next 2 that you skipped. We're not working in the crocodile stitch, we're working in the row of double crochet behind it. So if you pull your crocodile stitch down, you can see your double crochets. And you want to make sure you get 1 double crochet in each one of those double crochets. Oops. And then the one that we slip stitched into, go into that one. And then the next 2 that we skipped, you pull your crocodile stitch down, you'll see them right there, visible. and then the ones that we put the crocodile stitch into. So it's that one and this one. So I'm just going to repeat this all the way around. There's these two here. If you pull your crocodile stitch down, you'll see them. And when I get around to the beginning, I should have 84 double crochet again, because we're just double crocheting in the same row, in the same double crochet as we did before. We're not doing anything to these crocodile stitches. We're not putting any double crochet or anything in them. You can see I can put my finger through them, because we're not putting no stitches to them. It's just on the row behind them. And once you make it back around and you counted and you have 84 double crochets, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet like that. And now with the same color, I'm going to do another row of double crochet. So I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and double crochet, just like that. And now I'm going to work around again, putting one double crochet in every stitch until I get back to the beginning. See, I'm not putting any crocodile stitches on this variegated color. These are just double crochet rows, and I'm not going to put crocodile stitch on them. They're just kind of something to add in between the crocodile stitches. So I'm going to work my way around, and when I get back to the beginning, I'll have a total of 84 double crochets again. Okay, once you made it around with that second row of double crochet, I'm going to slip stitch, but I'm going to slip stitch my other color back through. So I'm going to slip stitch into my first double crochet, not that chain one, but the double crochet. I'm going to drop this color. I'm not going to clip it off, but I'm going to grab my other color and slip stitch it through. So now what we're doing, and just kind of pull this other color tight and hold it there. Now what we're going to do is just repeat those 4 rows that we did. The double crochet row, and then the crocodile stitch row, and then the 2 rows of double crochet after that. So I'm going to start again with this color, and I'm going to do a row of double crochet again in this color, and this is going to be the post to attach my crocodile stitch to. So again, I'm going to chain one, go right back into that same stitch and double crochet. And now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch around until I get back to the beginning in my crocodile stitch color. And this row is going to be the post that we're going to attach the crocodile stitch to. So when I get back around, I still should have 84 double crochets. And once you make it back to the beginning, and you have 84 double crochets, you want to slip stitch into your first double crochet, and now we'll start our crocodile stitches again on this row. So we'll chain one, and the very first double crochet right here, we're gonna grab it, fold our work in half, pull up so you can see, and do 5 double crochets around that post. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we chain 1 and turn it over, and we find the next post next to it right here, and we're going to do 5 double crochets up that post. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we chain 1 in between them. So that's our first crocodile stitch, and again we're going to skip 2, slip stitch into the next, skip 2, and start our crocodile stitch into the next. So we fold it, I always fold it in half, pull my stitch up, yarn over, and do 5 double crochets around that post. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, chain 1, turn your work, and the next post right here, grab it, pull it up, 5 double crochets around the post, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you chain 1 in between, skip 2, slip stitch into the next, skip 2, and start your crocodile stitch into the next. So we're just repeating our crocodile stitch row down there. 5 double crochet around the post, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, turn it, grab the next post, and 5 double crochet around the next post. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2, slip stitch into the next, skip 2, and start your crocodile stitch into the next. So we're just going to repeat that all the way around. That's what it's starting to look like. And again, you'll have 12 of these crocodile stitches when you get back around. Okay, I made it back around to the beginning, so I'm going to chain 1 after my last crocodile stitch, slip stitch into, skip 2, and then slip stitch into the next. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this double crochet here. It don't have to be exact, but I'm going to slip stitch my new color through. So I'm going to grab kind of right here, and I'm going to pull my new color through, and now I'm going to pull that other color tight back there and hold it, and I'm going to start again with my 2 rows of double crochet in my variegated color. So I'm just chain 1 and double crochet back into the same stitch, and I'm just repeating what I've been doing. Oops. And then a double crochet into the next double crochet, and then remember, we're just double crocheting in that row of posts. We're not doing anything, we're not hooking any yarn to the crocodile stitches. So double crochet into the next, and then the next, and then next will be the slip stitch. So just kind of go right in the top of that slip stitch there. And then the next double crochet, you just kind of pull your crocodile stitch down and look to find them. But I'm just repeating the rows we did before. So when I get back around, I should have a total of 84 double crochets. And then I'll slip stitch into my first one, chain 1, and I'll do another row of double crochet in the variegated color. And then I'll switch colors, and then I'll do a row of double crochet in the solid color, and then I'll add my crocodile stitch to it. So we're just repeating rows 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it starts over again with a solid row of double crochet as 1, 2, 3, and we do another row of solid is 4. So just keep repeating that until you get the length that you want. Okay, I went ahead and did 5 rows of the crocodile stitches, and then I went ahead and did the 2 rows of the double crochet in the different color yarn after that, and then I tied off. But you can always do it bigger if you want, and you still should have your 84 stitches along the top. Now I'm going to sew the bottom together, and I'm going to do that by slip stitching it. So I'm going to line it up to where the rows where we ended the rows, I'm going to put that on the corner, because you can tell the seam. Actually, you can see. So I'm going to put it on a corner so you can't see the seam anymore. So I'm going to fold that to where it's on the edge like that. Okay, you want to get it all lined up, and you should have 6 crocodile stitches on each side. Now I'm going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to slip stitch the bottom together. So you can actually sew it together with a yarn needle too if you want, but just kind of pinch it together and grab a stitch on each side. And I'm going to start by chaining 1. Now what I'm going to do is go to the next 2 stitches, in the one on this side and the next one on this side, and slip stitch it. And then I'm going to go to the next stitch here and the next stitch on the other side and slip stitch it. And this is what I'm going to do all the way down. And the next stitch here and next stitch on the other side and slip stitch it. Like I said, if you want to use your yarn needle, that'd probably be easy. That might even be easier than this, but either way, it's going to work the same. I'm just grabbing a stitch on this side and a stitch on the other side and slip stitching it. So I'm going to do this all the way down until my bag is completely sewn shut at the bottom. Just like that, and then you'll have that little seam there. Once you made it to the end and it's all sewed up, you just want to clip your yarn and tie that off, and you can hide that tail. Now I'm going to go to the top here, and I'm going to work around the top. You can use any color you want. I'm using the same color that I use for my crocodile stitches, and I'm going to start here along the edge so you can't really see my seam. You can start in any stitch, pull your yarn through, and you want to chain 1. What I'm going to do is 5 single crochets in a row, and then I'm going to do a single crochet decrease. So I'm going to go right back in the same stitch, and I'm going to single crochet. So that's 1. I'm going to go to the next one, 2, the next one, 3, the next one, 4, and the next one is 5. So that's 5 single crochets in a row. Now I'm going to do a single crochet decrease. I'm going to go into the next stitch and drop a loop, and then I'm going to go into the next one after that and drop a loop, and then I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops on my hook. That's a single crochet decrease. It took 2 stitches and made it into 1. And now I'm going to do 5 single crochets in a row. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to decrease over the next 2 stitches. So I'm going to go in to the next stitch and drop a loop. I'm going to go into the next one and drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops on my hook. And now I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and single crochet decrease over the next 2. Go into the next one, drop a loop, and then go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops on your hook. And then it's 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a single crochet decrease over the next 2. Go into the next one, drop a loop, go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. So I'm just going to repeat that all the way back around to the beginning. Okay, I made it all the way around, and if you counted correctly, you should have ended in a decrease. If you didn't, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. You're not even going to be able to tell. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to repeat that row. But I'm going to put a stitch marker here so I don't have to slip stitch. I can just work in a continual round. So I'm just going to use this piece of yarn here. I'm going to stick it right here. That way I know where I end and where I begin. So here's my next stitch. So again, I'm going to do 5 single crochets in a row and then a single crochet decrease. So instead of slip stitching, I'm just going to jump here to my first single crochet, not that chain 1, but the first single crochet, and I'm going to single crochet into it, and that counts as my first single crochet. So 5 in a row. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the single crochet decrease over the next 2 stitches. So you go in and draw up a loop, and then you go into the next one, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops on your hook. And then again, 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet decrease over the next 2, go in, drop a loop, go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. So we're just repeating what we just did, and you want to repeat it all the way around back to your stitch marker. Okay, when you make it back around, you probably won't end even. I did my decrease and I have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to go ahead and just single crochet in each of them, and that's fine if you have a different number. Like I said, it's not that big of a deal. Now I'm just going to move up my stitch marker, and now I'm going to be working 1 single crochet in every stitch. No more decrease, just 1 single in every stitch, and I'm going to do that all the way around until I get back to my stitch marker. And then when I get back to my stitch marker, I'm going to move it up and I'm going to go around again. So I want to do a total of 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch for a total of 5 altogether. So we did our 2 decrease rows, and then we're going to do 3 with 1 single crochet in every stitch. Okay, once you finish your 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch and you made it back to your stitch marker, what you want to do is just go ahead and you can take your stitch marker out now. I don't need it anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch, and then I'm going to tie this off. And now I'm going to take a second and I'm going to hide all these tails that I have hanging around. I got all my tails hidden, and I went ahead and attached my handle. My handle just had the little hooks at the end, so I just attached them on. Now you can make your own handle. You can make 2 short ones, 2 long ones, 1 long one, however you want to do it, whatever looks good for you. And one other thing I did, I just sewed a button on. Just, it's not functional or anything, it's just for decoration. And then I made a couple tiny little pom-poms. You can use the pom-pom maker or just make them. There's a bunch of tutorials how to make them. They're real easy. I just made mine. They didn't really turn out the same size, but. And what I'm going to do is just wrap them around my button for decoration and knot them on. No, you don't have to do that. It's just, that's optional. But I'm just going to tie them on here just for decoration. Or if you have any types of beads or anything that you want to use, you can do that too. But that's it. After you decorate it however you want, that's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope you're able to follow along okay. That crocodile stitch ain't really that hard once you get the hang of it. It's actually pretty easy. Please don't forget to check out my other tutorials, and don't forget to check me out on Facebook, or if you make this or anything else, you can post a picture of it. I'd love to see it. And until next time, have a good day.